Hey, what's going on? So, over the next few minutes, I'm going to be showing you some actionable steps on exactly how you can go around landing your first client online, specifically like for an AI marketing agency or AI automation agency. So, everything that I'm going to be going over today is important principles that you have to follow. So, let's go ahead and get into it. So, first off, is going to be niche selection. This is going to be the most important place to start because your entire business model and how you carry yourself and how you sell yourself online is going to be dependent on your niche. Of course, different niches are going to require different messaging. So here's a few different niche examples. So we have roofing companies, real estate companies, marketing agencies, and SaaS companies. Now, there's a ton of different niches you can get into. What I recommend personally is you go after a niche that has a high ticket offer. One thing that all of these have in common is they all are good at making a lot of money. SaaS is a little bit of a black sheep in the sense that it is usually go after many leads at a lower price point, but for the most part, with all these other service-based businesses, it's going to be high ticket packages. I personally like working with agency owners or consulting firms doing at least $2,000 a month as part of their core offer, because that gives us plenty of wiggle room to actually deliver and get them results. Anyways, with whatever offer you select, ideally something with a high ticket offer, you've got to identify what type of automations they can even benefit from in the first place. For instance, roofing companies can benefit from AI lead nurture and intake qualification questions, follow up nurture sequences, missed call text back automations, just basically nurturing, right? For a real estate business, you could do an AI lead qualification chatbot on one of their websites that they have where they're listing some of these houses. You could build them out a CRM with automations and follow ups on all their leads. See, specifically in the real estate niche, they have a really long lead life cycle in the sense that some of these leads that are looking to buy or sell may not be ready to pull the trigger for a few months, if not a year or two, and actually until they're actually ready. And so, what I've done for a bunch of real estate companies is set up super long-term email drip sequences and SMS drip sequences to where we stay at the top of that lead's mind. So when they are finally ready to buy or sell, they know who they're going to. Marketing agencies, you could completely automate their onboarding, client reporting automations as well. Or for SaaS companies, you could do something like user onboarding automations, churn prevention, email automations. And these are just some examples. And if you don't understand how to even pick a niche in the first place, try to think about something you even have like some sort of an interest in. Like for me, I love fitness, I love bodybuilding. So one of the first clients I ever worked with, the first niche I ever selected was online fitness coaching. The reason I no longer do that though is because online fitness coaching is a massive commodity. Because every 16-year-old with a camera, unfortunately, in this day and age, thinks they have what it takes to start doing online coaching. So it's a very competitive market. Nowadays, my favorite type of client to deliver for is going to be a consulting firm. So, like financial consulting firms, accounting firms, just because they have a really good offer. Everyone always needs people in these industries, and they make a ton of money off of each client they work with. So, when I charge a few $1,000s for my upfront fees, everyone's still happy at the end of the day. Okay, perfect. So now we have your niche selected and you've identified a few pain points that they may be struggling from, or more importantly, a few automations you can help build to alleviate said pain points. Now we move into offer building. So once you've selected your niche, it's not as simple as just saying, hey, we'll build you out these automations to make your business more efficient. You have to get extremely detailed with your messaging, especially when it comes to selling online. This is going to be super important because online advertising is often cutthroat, and we need to be able to really put yourself out there where you have a no-brainer attractive offer. And we can do that by building out what's called a core offer promise. Let's take the marketing agencies niche, for instance, because I used to work with a few marketing agencies in which I'd white label some of my AI builds. So when I was marketing to them, I said, we help marketing agencies book 30 qualified appointments in the next 60 days. Now, the idea behind this, though, when you really break it up, is we need to have a dream outcome, the time frame in which this takes place, and then the deliverables, something kind of just touching on like what's included in them. Now, obviously, within this core offer promise, we didn't knowledge dump and be like, hey, we're going to do an AI chatbot, we're going to do CRM and pipeline automations, an AI appointment setter, and reporting KPIs dashboard as well. Obviously, we didn't say all that in here, and I'll kind of explain how you can package deliverables. But the idea is you have a time frame guarantee, which is going to be 60 days, and you have the dream outcome, right? For real estate agents, just to give you another example, you could say, hey, we'll help you land, your next 3 listings within the next 90 days or something big like that. And I say that because for real estates, if they're able to land a few listings or if they're able to sell a few homes, they're going to make a ton of money off of that, right? So you got to be understanding and realistic with your market. But the idea is you're giving a time frame guarantee, and an upfront promise. Now, when it comes to deliverables, I personally like to include something within the core offer promise explaining this, but just leaving it really, really vague. Like, oh, we do this with AI. So now, if they see this on one of your ads or wherever you're marketing this, they're like, okay, cool. He's going to get me my dream outcome in this X time frame. Okay, cool. And he's doing this with AI. Ooh, I want to learn how. I want to learn more about that. And that's how we push them over to your sales funnel. That's going to be the fastest way to build an offer on this, right? And then as far as offer positioning, in the grand scheme of things, it's a outcome-based offer designed specifically to be scaled with ads, right? This is also something you can do as a bit of a qualifier. So now, let's say within one of my ad creatives, I'm like, hey, are you a marketing agency and you're currently looking to scale with paid ads, but you don't have a back-end system that can keep up with your leads and nurture them and report all of the different lead conversations, and you're kind of hitting on some of the deliverables, and then you give them the fastball pitch. We help marketing agencies book 30 qualified appointments within the next 60 days of deploying our AI system. And then another pro tip, if you can set up what's called a unique mechanism in there, don't just call it an AI system. It's your AI system. For instance, my unique mechanism, so my company's called Scale Agents. So we call it the AI Scale Agents system. So that's like my unique mechanism. You can name it whatever, but that goes a long way as well. Like Iman Gadzhi does this, Alex Ramosi does this. A lot of the big dogs with their product, they make it seem more proprietary or more exclusive, literally just by giving it a unique name. Okay, perfect. So we got your niche, we've got your new offer dialed. So next is going to come down to brand and the funnel build itself. So when you're marketing your offer, you're going to want to set up what's called a 3 4 step funnel. What you're going to want to set up a 4 step funnel, and the 4 steps consist of an opt-in page, a VSL page or a video sales letter page, a booking page, and then a thank you page, right? Now, within here, the opt in page is where your initial offer is going to be. So, especially for running ads, this is going to be the first page the leads land on. So, we want this to be extremely barren. What I often explain when it comes to building out a sales funnel, this is way different than a website. A website, you can have navigation points, you can have places where leads can click on and off and kind of learn more about you, but that ultimately promotes drop off just having a traditional website. A sales funnel, there's only one objective. In this scenario, it's going to be booking that sales call. That's the only thing we're going after. Now, the next point of the opt in page is to get them enough interest to want to hear more about your offer. And at this point, we kind of have to dangle either a lead magnet or the VSL in front of their face and be like, oh, you want to hear more about exactly how we can get this done? Just click this get free plan or get the CTA button, right? That's what we call it, a CTA button, a call to action button. So it's like, oh, click this below and you'll get access to the VSL and you can hear more about this offer and how we can promise this. And now the exchange of information is, hey, you give me your name, email, and phone number, and in return, we'll allow you to the next page to watch our video sales letter. Obviously, you never call it a video sales letter. Usually, you'll call it like a free training or like a rundown or something like that, just like really clearly explaining your offer. Another thing I like to do on the opt-in page is add like a quick 30-second to 1 minute long opt-in video, basically just introducing yourself, be like, hey, you know, if you're here, it's probably because you're a marketing agency and you're looking to get 30 qualified appointments within the next 60 days. If you click the link down below, not only will you get access to watch our free training that explains exactly how we do business, but I'll also email you over this free piece of information just for giving us your information. Something just to entice leads, right? And then, of course, on the VSL page, this is going to be a quick rundown of your offer with the CTA of booking and a sales call. So obviously, we don't want to get super, super, super granular with everything on the VSL because we want them to actually sit through and watch this whole thing. So I recommend no longer than 20 minutes. Any longer than that, you really just risk people not watching the full thing. But the VSL needs to give a clear rundown of your offer, give them some actual tangible information. Don't just try to bait them into booking a call. A lot of people just see past that bullshit. And then, of course, once they're interested in your services, they click to book a call. Bada bing, bada boom. They select the time that works for them, and then the thank you page. Thank you page is where you're going to want them to confirm their emailed appointments. So usually, as soon as you book in, you should have some backend automation set up. At least I'd hope to show them their appointment booking time, when it's going to be, and if you have any pre-call information as well, perhaps any pre-call videos you want the lead to digest prior to the meeting as well, you're going to want to make sure that those are highlighted on the thank you page as well. So this is from a high level what the 4 step funnel looks like. It's pretty straightforward. Nothing really else to say about that. Really, what you're going to want to do then is, of course, your like branding layer. So logo plus name, positioning statement, testimonials and proof, and consistent visuals. Another way to think about this is also just having some congruency. So if you have a website out there, your funnel has to be congruent with it as far as logos, color scheme, everything like that. Another thing, though, guys, is if you are not optimized for mobile, that should be priority number one for you. Especially when I work with business owners in an older demographic, a lot of them, when they think about a website, are like, "Oh, I'm gonna go check out this website." They're looking it up on their computer, but then I check out their mobile, and they haven't even realized that their mobile layout of their own website is dog shit. And especially when you're running ads in this day and age, most people, you can even look at the analytics. Like for me, for instance, like from my ad campaign, 85% of them are coming from mobile. So of course, we're not only optimized for mobile first, but we almost put more of an emphasis on mobile in the sense that, like, okay, we need to make sure that our mobile stream is perfected. Website, obviously we want that one to look clean as well, but more so what I'm getting at is make sure you're optimized for both website and for mobile view, and it's going to go a long way. Okay, perfect. So at this point, we have our niche selected, we have our offer dialed, and we have our funnel set up and ready to go. Now we are ready for traffic. And what by traffic, I mean paid ads and outreach and actually starting to get some attention on this new offer. So this is my paid ad system, and you literally only have to spend $30 to $50 a day. Like this is very beginner friendly. 30 bucks a day is $900 a month. Like most people, especially if you're trying to start a business, should be able to afford this. And what's neat about ads, the reason I love ads so much is that once you start landing your first couple clients and you got a return on ad spend, it's a numbers game. You're increasing ad spend, you're increasing the amount of people that are even able to see you in general. And it's just a really consistent way to scale. What's the best of both worlds, of course, is going to be if you have an organic stream alongside that, and that's just a plus. But I've worked with so many businesses that have no organic stream, no social media. We're exclusively running ads, and we're still able to rip a crazy ROAS, return on ad spend. So with this new offer, we have to go through a bit of a testing phase with it. And so what that's going to entail is setting up some new ad creatives and seeing how this offer functions. So what we're going to do with our $30 to $50 a day budget is we're going to test our 30 qualified sales appointments in 60 days offer targeting those marketing agencies. So I recommend building anywhere from 5 to 10 ad creatives and have different styles of messaging in there. If you're no good at creating messaging, this isn't rocket science, but you can literally go over to ChatGPT and have it help create you out some copy. And if you want to take it a step further and you actually want to get your ad creatives built out for you, I recommend using Sora. I personally use Sora to build up my still frames. And then if you're going to do AI video UGC generated ads, I recommend using HeyGen, or you can use Arc Ads, and those are going to build out your actual videos for you of like an AI literally talking and reading your script. I do both. I'll create my own ads, I'll create my own still frames, but I'll also sometimes use Sora or HeyGen in order to create out AI versions of it, either for myself and for my clients. Like you could literally go look me up on Meta Ads Manager right now. You're probably going to see some still frames from me, some AI UGC videos from me. And the idea is throughout all these moving parts, we have a bit of a testing formula going on. I always like to have a little bit of a control, almost think of like this as a fifth grade science project, right? We need to have a control and we need to have variables that are changing. So if we're having the same offer throughout all 10 of these, the things that are changing on screen is going to be the wording and the visuals of doing so, right? So it's going to be now the angles on how we're positioning this 30 qualified sales appointment guarantee. Now, I don't want you to stray from this if you're going to go this route of doing all these different creatives, all these different visuals. This offer is our one control, right? And then if we find that across the board, despite all of our different hooks and angles, that nothing is working, it's likely the offer at face value that we need to turn around and pivot before we test again. Now, the other way of doing things, which is the complete opposite, is you have one creative style. What I mean is, like, let's say you're doing still frames, you don't do videos then. Or if you're doing videos, okay, cool, don't do still frames then. And it needs to be the same setting, the same script and everything. The only difference is the offer. And that's how you know from then on, like based on the engagement and which ad is performing better, you're able to tell from an unbiased market, if the offer is good or not. So those are the two ways you can go about that. I recommend you do the first one though. Stick with a good offer. It's not rocket science. Like you can kind of tell if an offer like this is going to do well or not, which in my opinion, I think this is a great offer, in which case your creative testing variance is going to be directly on the visuals on screen to see what's more attractive. Now, with a strategy like this is going to be great to run ads on Meta Ads Manager for, basically meaning Instagram and Facebook, especially in this day and age with the Andromeda update. I don't recommend you really doing any manual placements. It's funny because if you're new to this page, I used to be big on posting videos where I talk about doing as many manual sections as you can, but this is a $1 billion algorithm. So, especially if you're new, Meta's going to know better than you on how to place this thing. So, what us as marketers can do to actually have an impact on a successful ad campaign is going to come back to these ad creatives. Even if you do find a winning ad, you're going to want to continue to increase new ad creatives on a monthly basis, if not maybe a weekly basis, depending on your budget. On 30 to 50 bucks a day, you can get away with on a monthly basis introducing some new ad creatives. But the idea is going to be with the goal of pushing these over to a website schedule. Now, a website schedule is a lead objective within Ads Manager. I have a ton of videos on this as well. This is exactly how I teach my students to book their consultation appointments and sales calls as well, both for them and for their clients. You do a lead objective and then you do a website schedule. Make sure your pixels dialed. I know I'm talking from a high level over some big points, but if you do have any questions, I'm going to leave my Instagram link down below. Feel free to reach out to me. And then from that meta ads campaign that we're running, we're optimizing for book calls and we're generating all of that traffic. And we funnel that traffic onto our sales page, onto our sales funnel page. And like I said, we have our opt in, our VSL, our booking, and our thank you page. Now, from this traffic, let's say we get 1,000 different people that are interested that are now page viewers over on our opt in page. We have 1,000 people that made it to this opt in page. The opt in page needs to be a bit of a firewall. We want to scare people off that aren't meant to be there. So you could put some copy on there saying, like, hey, this is for marketing agencies that are looking to get booked appointments. If that's not you, this isn't for you, right? We don't want our pixel to be trained over shitty data in the long term, right? So the idea is, let's say from that 1,000 page views, we have 10% of them that opt in and give us information. These should likely be qualified leads. So now we have 100 page views over on our VSL page. Let's say we get 10% of them to book in. Cool. We have 10 booked appointments now. That's great. And what I also recommend, I haven't really gone over it too much in this video, but I personally build out AI appointment setter automations, meaning with any lead that comes and opts in, they're getting a text and email from me. Not only that, but the AI is constantly reaching out, following up these leads, and trying to start a conversation and book them onto a sales appointment. So I just gave in this example, let's say 10% of the VSL page viewers book in, so 10, right? What about the other 90? So there's 100 total. What about the other 90 that didn't? This is really where the backend automations shine. So if you have SMS and email automations, or if you're like me and you have an entirely autonomous AI sales agent that works your messaging channels for you, then that backend system kind of acts as a backbone and books in an additional percentage of people onto a booked appointment for you to close to a paying client, and thus increases your overall amount of revenue you're able to make, right? And then thank you page, we kind of already went over that, but that's for like pre-call information, making sure they confirm their appointment as well to help with show up rate. And then once you've got the system churning, it's literally money in, money out. Meta ads is going to be your engine, and then your funnel is going to procure the leads, data collect the leads, and that's also consent, so we can continue to send SMS and email marketing efforts legally and ethically, which is great. And then for any lead that comes to the door that books in, I always have my metapixel optimizing for website schedules specifically, not optimizing for leads. So if you look on Meta Ads Manager, there's a specific place to optimize for website schedules. If you're optimizing for leads, that's essentially saying to Meta like, hey, this person gave me their name, email, phone number. Thanks, you get rewarded. And Meta's going to continue to take their money. And so the reason I never do a lead objective as far as like data collection and that being the driver for an actual result on MetaZen is because we could get some name, email, phone numbers, but they don't mean jack. We want people that are booking in. We want qualified leads that are booking appointments, right? So I will intentionally have all of my ad campaigns running that are only rewarding Meta for website schedules, and that's when we also reward our pixel with additional data as well. And over time, this really allows Meta to get very, very accurate with who we're targeting and who we're booking onto a sales call. Of course, running a website schedule campaign, it's going to be a little more expensive because the result we're going after isn't just a measly lead, isn't just a measly name, email, and phone number, but this is a lead that booked in a sales call with us, so they're clearly qualified, especially if you have qualification questions prior to booking, where we can help kind of filter leads out as well. But yeah, guys, that's from a high level how you can go about setting this up. Now, if you're new to this page, I have tons of other videos where I dive into a lot more detail on specifically how to run an ad campaign, or specifically how to build out a funnel, or specifically how to set up an offer, or specifically how to select a niche. If you do want some fast track learning though, and more importantly, if you want access to all my backend automations, tools, funnels, and templates, and also an entire community of like-minded AI entrepreneurs, I'm going to leave a link to access everything down below. You'll also get access to live weekly calls with me and everyone else in the community. So if you are looking to actually scale with some accuracy, and more importantly, you're looking to actually sell some automations online and you want some 2 cents from guys that are currently in the thick of it running it up right now, go and click the link down below. It's only $197 a month to join right now. This is going to be the cheapest it's ever priced at, so you'll get grandfathered in at this price if you are interested. Your network is your net worth after all. And on that note, I'll see y'all in the next video.